What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are talking about the DXY today. It's the US dollar currency index. This bases its value basically against every other currency in the world. This does not mean that the dollar is worth $104. There is a mathematical equation or formula to get you this number. I don't know what it is. I don't care to know what it is. I just look at the charts, man. Dollar goes up, that means it gains value against most world currencies, if not all world currencies. Dollar goes down, it means it loses value against most world currencies, if not all world currencies. And generally, if the dollar is gaining strength, it's harder for other things to gain strength against the dollar, right? If the dollar is losing strength, like imagine it like this. You have one Bitcoin that's worth whatever it's worth. The dollar loses value. Well, Bitcoin's going to gain value versus the dollar, let alone if Bitcoin goes up in value, then it's going to go up even more. If Bitcoin wants to gain value from what it's at, but the dollar is gaining value too, then it's like you're going to climb, but you're climbing uphill instead of going with the flow of things. I don't know. Maybe it's better to swim. You're swimming upstream instead of swimming downstream because you don't want to go down. Anyways, I guess upstream, downstream, whatever. It's all up and down. But what I'm trying to say, you guys, is that this is basically a valuation on the dollar's strength versus other world currencies. And you can see right now we've actually been week to week here having a nice bounce off of the 123. That's what this is, moving average here, the 123. And we've had a bounce down here right off of it. We actually tipped it quite well. I would say that this is a respected line on the dollar. You can see we found support here and support there. Disrespected it a little bit here, but support there, rejection here, rejected it here. You know, disrespect a little bit, then you got above it, rejected it here, got above it, went off, found support, blah, 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 whatever. But we have found support on it. The last time we found support on it, we went on this massive rally. It was basically in the midst of this massive overall rally. Could we be in the beginning of another cycle up past this high? It's possible. When we went up this high, did we go in a straight line? No. It kind of looks like it, right? But no, we did not. You know, we went up, we went down, we went up, we went down, we went up, we went down, we went up, down, up, down, whatever. We are in the beginnings of it. We've been going up now for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks in a row. We have 2 days and 3 hours left. I do think this will mark an 8th week green. It could turn around here. It is possible. If we look at the daily, you do have bearish divergence presenting itself. Not only that, you do have a higher high, which, by the way, this higher high to me would indicate that we are going to see prices go past this high. I would expect that, and up into this 1272, 1618 area, and then potentially even beyond here. But that can take time. It doesn't have to happen overnight. But again, you do have bearish divergence on your daily. Right now, you're in your overbought zone. If we were to take a fib level from this this overall section, from this high here to this low here, you can see we are. Come on now, man. I hate this. Hate the layout sometimes. Okay, here we go. So this low right here, you're at the 382. You're basically there. You might go a little bit higher over the coming days, but you're basically there. And then if we go back here from that same top but to this low, you can see you actually rejected this 382 over here. So could we again reject this area or find a bit of resistance at it? Is it possible that we could go all the way back down to this 236 and then continue higher? Yeah, we could. That's actually very constructive. That's a very common thing that you see in the fibs. It might take its time. It might really take its time, man. It could work systematically down for like the rest of September and then start moving up to the 0.5 and then down again and then up again. Stair stepping is a very common thing in fib scales. It doesn't happen all the time, but it's nice to see it. And I think right now we are getting some. You can see respect on the 236, and it looks like we might be seeing respect on the 382. We're not quite there yet, but it's possible. Pair that with the fact again that we do have bearish divergence presenting itself on the daily. I think that is spelling for downside for the dollar to come. Now that is good for risk on assets. That would mean that things could in fact turn up. But here's the stitch to that. Here's a little not good with that. If we take this first off, before we get to what I'm trying to say, actually, let's see. Let's go to the weekly. I want to go back to this bouncing off the purple line. It's a very classic thing to bounce off the purple line and bounce off of the 50 on your long-term RSI, which we did. We basically bounced just above that area. That generally marks a strong move. So even though I'm about to get a little bearish here, just be prepared. I don't think we're going lower than this low. I doubt that we even go back down here. And I do think overall we're going to make strides for a higher high in the coming months to likely years. We're going to make a higher high because this thing does take a while to move. Just for example, let's see, what was it? on a date range here from when this high formed to where that high formed. That took 2,070 days, essentially. Okay, that was 2,000. That was 68 months. 6, 12, 24, 48 is 8, 60 is 9. So that took 9 years and 8 months. That took 9 years and 8 months, man, for this next high to set. So right now we are only, that would put us, by the way, all the way out into 2028. We're only 12 bars into this. So this can take a very long time. Now, that doesn't mean it takes that long to break this high, but you can see where we broke this high was basically the last 4 months of this trend up. So we could take our time. This might not be the ultimate low that we find before going up here. But before this overall up move is done, I do think that we're going to break this high. I don't think that we're going to break these lows just yet. But now we're going to get bearish. We're going to move on to the bearish stuff. So looking at this here, I'm going to take away the RSI, go to indicators, to technicals, scroll down to C, look for the correlation coefficient, and apply it. We're going to apply it. Why did it? Okay, I don't want Google. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to apply. I'm sorry. Why are we doing this right now? Come on now. Indicators, correlation coefficient, and apply it to Bitcoin. I'm sorry, Bitcoin to the all-time history index. Apply. There we go. Now, the reason why I'm having this pulled up, we'll go to the monthly here, is because this line, it symbolizes all of Bitcoin's existence correlating to the dollar. The way that this indicator works is basically it's from 1 to -1. I know that you've got readings that are higher than that and lower than that, but you'll never see this go above or below -1 and 1 here. So that's where these dashed lines are. Essentially, when this is above the 50, you've got a Bitcoin that moves more or less in a similar manner as the DXY. Whenever it goes below the 50, you've got a Bitcoin that moves opposite of the DXY. And the further away from the 50 it gets, the more opposite it is, the more inverse it is. Where the further away from the 50 it is up here, the more correlated, the more similar twinning is winning that it is. And you can see throughout this whole range, right, you've got bouts of uncorrelation, bouts of correlation, bouts of uncorrelation, bouts of correlation. You can just see, I'm just circling all the bottoms and tops here. But to me, it looks like we are right now at a bit of an uncorrelated state, and I would think that we're going to start to move to a correlated state. Okay, I do think that we're going to start to move toward a correlated state. So if the dollar is about to get bearish, is that a good thing for Bitcoin? I don't think it necessarily is. I do think overall that the dollar is bullish, in a more midterm aspect. Again, I think that all it's going to do is form a lower or a higher low here at this 236. Go to the weekly here and you can see it. Oh wait, no, that's not the right one. I'm sorry. From top to bottom, this 236 right here, where we found support before, kind of the midway point of this overall down range. I wonder, actually, that comes right in line, man, with the 382 of this too. So that'd be kind of funny. Reject the 382, find support on the 382, stuff like that. Maybe the dollar goes just below this little low here, scares people, whatever, or gets people excited. But I have a theory that as the dollar depreciates, Bitcoin might and crypto might have some relief for a minute, but they might actually correlate and move down together. Is this possible? Can Bitcoin move down when the dollar moves down? Is it possible? Has it happened before? Yes, it has actually. If we go to here, this month in July, or this week in July, the 10th of July. Remember that, okay? Here we go. We're going to go to BTC USD, go to the index here, and you can see, where is it? The 10th of July, right here. The dollar went down. Bitcoin only went up 0.25%. This is actually that fake out. The beginning of this descent down was whenever the dollar had one of its worst weeks in a while. If we go back, I think it's in November. What is it? November 7th, 2022. This huge candle, massive candle, the only one that compares to this size, but it's the biggest one out of this whole range. November 7th, the week of November 7th in 2022. If we go to that, look at this. November 7th, 2022. This was one of the most massive red candles that Bitcoin ever saw. And then it started to move up. I say that it ever saw, but ever saw like in this bear market. And then it started to move up. Could Bitcoin have one last flash crash, flush out to the downside while the dollar changes directions? I think so. Especially because I think they're going to start correlating to each other. I think we've hit our uncorrelated phase and we are moving into our correlated phase. This could be the beginning of that. And pair that with the fact also that I do think that the dollar is going to make strides higher than this high. If it moves down right now and Bitcoin moves down with it, but then eventually the dollar moves up and Bitcoin eventually moves up, which we would all expect probably sometime by the end of the year, if not until the beginning of next year, then that would make sense to me. But anyways, I feel like I'm getting off track a little bit. I don't know if that made sense to you guys. I hope it did. But getting back to the DXY strictly, not comparing it to Bitcoin, you can see we have higher highs on the RSI. We've bounced off the oversold zone 3 times, bouncing off of this purple line. It's beautiful. Coinciding, I don't have it now, but the long-term RSI, we bounced off the 50. They're doing yard work outside, unfortunately. Hold on. I don't know what they're doing, man. They were and they weren't. Hopefully, they don't wake my daughter up because she is napping right now. But anyways, this RSI did have hidden bearish divergence where you have higher highs and you have lower highs in price. But we've deconfirmed that. We have nullified that with this past week's close. And we only have 2 days, 3 hours left in this week. I do expect that we're going to have an 8th green week to close in a row. But with that being 8 green weeks in a row, this is some of the longest like week by week green weeks that we've seen consecutively in a while. I would expect that we do turn around. Pair that with the fact that we have bearish divergence on the daily. Pair that with the fact that we are at the 382 overall from this high to this low here. I think that we are about to go down a little bit, but overall the dollar to me does look constructive. We probably go down to about 103, just a little bit below that, 103 to 102.5, somewhere in that range. And then from there, move up. That would be my expectation. I wonder, even from top to bottom here, if we take this and we put this one from bottom to top, the 382, man, look at that. The 382 is right by this 0.5, right there. So maybe not even 102.5, maybe like 102.69 to 103, somewhere in there. But I do think the dollar is going to experience some downside, and I think that's going to get a lot of people excited. We might see even a little bit of relief in crypto and other things. It wouldn't surprise me if the stock markets saw more relief than crypto does because of this dollar going down. Because crypto and Bitcoin, or crypto and stocks, man, the stocks have been doing better than Bitcoin has in the recent times. But let's just see here. I do think, just looking at the price, excluding the dollar itself, I would think that we are going to give this low up. Now, if the dollar crashes immediately, could Bitcoin have a little pump up? We're at 25.6K right now. Could we move up to 27.5K or higher even? It's possible. I don't think we take this high out, but we could move up, form another lower high, and then from there go down along with the dollar. I know that that sounds a little counterintuitive to most people, but man, the price of Bitcoin itself does not look good, and I don't think a failing dollar is going to help at all with this right now. I mean, unless the dollar really failed and like hyperinflated hard, but you know, you've got some manner of bullish divergence on your daily RSI, but I think this is just like false hope. I really do, man. I really think that we are in a downtrend in our RSI. We're in a downtrend in price. We are holding this low point so much. There's no way that you've got a 1, 2, 3, 4 bottoms. Like, there's no quadruple bottom in the handbook, man. When you hit it 3 times, it's very rare that you hold it. When you hit it 4 times, it's almost certain that you won't. Anything can happen. We don't have to go up from here. But even if we did break this high, I doubt that we would break this kind of lower. I did not draw that well at all, did I? I would doubt that we would break this like lower high trend that we have with price here. So even if we did break this high, I think it would be something just like this. Maybe it doesn't sell off as dramatically, but long story short, I'm getting away from the DXY, you guys. The main thing that I wanted to address is that I do think, I know I've been all over the place, I do think that we are going above this high. I don't know if right now we're getting ready to go above this high. Maybe we are, maybe we aren't. But I do think we're going to go above this. But in the meantime, because of this bearish divergence we have on the daily, I do think we're going to turn around soon. If not within the next couple days, maybe sometime next week. And counter to what a lot of people would think, I don't think it's going to be a good thing for crypto. I don't think it actually will. I think we're going to start a phase of correlation. So in a sense, what's not good for the dollar is not good for crypto. You know, for maybe not for all of it, but for some of it, some of the big players, and in fact, Bitcoin specifically. But that's all I have for you guys. If you like the video, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to see more. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.